Dave, everything fine. Oh, bro, bravo. David, oh, bro, bravo. Many more fu. Oh, Charlie, and yes, yeah, so, Yamio. Well, indeed, it is great to have you on this set. My name indeed is Samuel Fusini. Today, we had some very interesting challenges because of certain technicalities. We need to apologize first and foremost to Gianluca De Caro, the president for British and Irish Boxing Authority. We were scheduled to bring him on set. Yes, he was set. We had technical challenges of our own. As you can see, my background is even up to scratch. But these are technology. I mean, it happens all the time. But today, we're still going to talk about our main preoccupation, and we also try as much as possible to discuss news making boxing world. Not just that, we also try and delve into certain things that we think can improve in terms of Ghana pugilism. So there is a lot to talk about, and I'm grateful that you're able to join me on this platform. Once again, my name is Sami Ofusine. Many thanks for joining me on the show. The show is airbound, and the show is Boxing Court. And in Boxing Court, we discuss everything topical, everything boxing. And like I always say, this show is much more interactive. So you can actually get interactive on my platform on zero. Did I say zero? On +1 815 302 5489. Once again, it's +1 815 302 5489. And I would love to read your messages here. Once again, many thanks for joining me on this platform. Like we always start on this show, we first begin with the Vex Matter. The Vex Matter today is how Ghanaian promoters, boxers, managers can actually collaborate with their British counterparts. And with us to do the discussion was actually scheduled to be the president for BIBA, the executive vice president, I must say, talking about Gianluca De Caro. But we've had some challenges. It's not a fault of his, it's a fault of ours. But we'll still try and see how possible we can link him through. As my technical people are trying, fervently, they are doing everything possible to try and link him through so that we have a great interview. Once again, I need to apologize for that. But like I always do, we first begin with news making in the boxing world, and with me to do the discussion, you all know the usual suspect, my co-host Daniel David Corte. Yes, and there's a lot to talk about in today's boxing court. And today's boxing court is going to take a new trend. Let me warn you. We are now going to delve into matters proper. The main reason why boxing court was set, like I said, first we need to get a background set, put things on the floor, make sure things are running in terms of branding, promotions, make sure all stakeholders are in tune with us. Then afterwards, we discuss the very topical issues that is bothering Ghana boxing. And that's what we'll be doing, like I told you. Indeed, Daniel David Cote will soon be on set so that we discuss news making the boxing world, because there is a lot of news making the boxing world. And as you all know, so many things have happened over the week, and we'll try and delve into those matters. Once again, this show is interactive, so get interactive on my line, on my platform, on +1 815 302 5489. My producer will give the numbers or the number very soon. But David is already here. So if you just plug onto this domain, this is Boxing Court with me, Sami Ofusine, and of course my co-host Daniel David Cote, who will be coming very soon for us to do the tidbits making boxing world, of course, and start with some topical issues. And this is how the show goes. First, we begin with news making the boxing world, and we bring you tidbits and highlights of what has transpired over the week. And then, of course, we venture into the Vex Matter. And today's Vex Matter is how Ghanaian boxers, promoters can venture into the British markets. And like I said, our initial scheduled guest was Gianluca De Caro, the president, executive vice president for British and Irish Boxing Authority. He's also the vice president for Malta Boxing. We had challenges. We're still having those challenges, like I told you, but we're trying fervently. We are doing everything possible to try and link him through. It's not his fault. It is our fault, and we take full responsibility for that. So we'll get that. But David is in here. Daniel David Corte. My brother, how you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm great. I'm great. Today I met someone who's like, Sammy, when are you going to shave? I'm like, this is this is American. Anyway, that's on a lighter note. But David, today you're really going to tell me where your location is. I mean, look, there's not going to be any coded stuff. You're really going to tell me, David. You're really going to tell your guest. Mm.
This is not the time. The right time will come for me to say that. Yeah, this is not the time.
David,
The right time will come for me to say that. At least if you look at the background and you look at the atmosphere, it's, it's, it's a different location as compared to where we are from. So at least you might have a fair idea of where I am, but the exact location
you can know.
is what I'm my case. Yeah.
Okay, just like you've seen on that's the number to reach us on. It's +1 8153025489. That's for WhatsApp, or no one SMS. You can just get in touch. Let's get the show rolling. David, there's a lot happening in the boxing world. We've had our own challenges here and there, but first of all, let me shoot straight to something that is so dear to me, the Ghana Professional Boxing League. It's interesting, but so far so good. How do you see the week 8? How did it pan out for you?
For me, I would say it, since the professional boxing league started, and for me, I think it's only one boxer who is most exciting. It's only one boxer who, for me, people love to watch. That is John Quay because of the kind of antics that he brings in the ring. You cannot take anything away from the other boxers, but it seems John Quay is the only boxer who has been bringing excitement to the professional boxing league. But there is one thing, Sammy, we have to uh, eat, eat hard on because I stand to be corrected and I'm hoping for correction. Since the professional boxing league started, I kept on checking box recs with respect to the boxers who has been fighting. And since the professional boxing league started, I stand to be corrected. The the record or the fight update in the professional boxing league is not being updated on boxers. For the past, I would say since the professional boxing league started, this season one started, the boxers are fighting, but their records on boxers has not been updated. And I don't know the reason why. I don't know whether boxrec officials don't recognize what the Ghana Boxing Authority are doing, or there is a friction between the Ghana Boxing Authority and boxrec. I think the GBA has to delve into it and see or be sure of the reason why the boxers' record on boxrec is not being updated. Because it's a professional boxing league, it's not an amateur boxing league. So if it's a professional boxing league and boxers are boxing for 8, 10, 12 rounds, I think their records on boxrec should be updated. And I think that is should be the sole responsibility of the Ghana Boxing Authority because the professional boxing league is going on. And for me, what I know is for boxrec to update their fighting records on each boxer, I think they normally liaise with the promoters or the matchmakers. And you and I know that we don't know the promoters of the professional boxing league. We don't know the matchmakers of the professional boxing league. So I'm tempted to believe that it's because of that gap. That is why boxers are not updating the fighters' record on their platform. So I think it is only the GBA that can give us full explanation as to why the professional boxing league is not being updated on the boxers' record on boxers.
Well, that's really a good point, Daniel David Corte. I must admit that I have had that I've actually observed that myself. I think it's something that we do have to bring a GB official here to come and explain to us whether or not whatever record that transpires at the professional boxing league doesn't really it's not really correlated into records. Not to say that box rec is the ultimate, but whether you like it or not, it has come to stay. I mean, you can have your own reservations about boss recs and their dealings, but that's a subject for another day. But and I'm not sure that we want to delve into it. Since it's a recognized organization and everybody virtually gets their records from them, I think it's only prudent that some of these questions are asked. Bearing in mind the fact that we had our own hibijibis with Boxrec, which I still do not know whether it has been resolved or we're still encountering those problems. And I think it's something that we probably will have to delve into. Today when we have time, we'll do that. There's a lot to talk about today. I want to reserve today's topic for next week because from our side, we made a big mistake with Gianluca, just like we did that same mistake with Donu, and it's going to be difficult. It's practically going to be impossible for us to hook him through today. So we need to find a way to get the show rolling and still make time for Gianluca. Hopefully, maybe next week. Hopefully. But like I said, the technical people are still trying to get him through. As and when we do, we'll definitely rope him through. But David, that topic is something that we're going to revisit again today. So I'll for now, I'm just going to leave it there because we're going to talk about it again. We're going to repeat it again. But let's talk about the boxing world. It's getting pretty interesting. We all know that it's possible Isaac Dogwe may not face Navarrete, but rather face the WBC, whoever comes out top in the WBC. That's Max Sawyer. And everybody is sort of hoping that is what happens. Are you also anticipating same? You think that it will be prudent for Dogwe to actually avoid Navarrete and go rather for the WBC title? Because he's rated number 2 there. And of course, Joet Gonzalez is also rated number 1. So it's only prudent that they should be in contention for the title, yeah. David?
Okay.
Okay, you're good.
This is the point, and boxing has become more political, especially in America here. For many would have loved Isaac Dugbe to channel his energy or to challenge for the WBC belt instead of maybe probably facing Emmanuel Navarrete for the WBO. But guess what? This is the thing. It is easier for Bob Arum to make a fight between Navarrete and Isaac Dugbe. If Isaac Dugbe should beat Joey Gonzalez, it is easier for Bob Arum or Top Rank to make that fight because Navarrete is a Bob fight under Bob Rank's Bob Rank's promotion, that is Top Rank, same as Isaac Dugbe. Whilst Masayo and Ray Vargas is on the other side, PBC. And for me, yesterday Friday, Ray Vargas dominated and won the fight against Masayo. And I don't know whether there's going to be a rematch because it was a close fight. Ray Vargas get off the canvas to decision Masayo. So the thing is, for many, they want Isaac Dugbe to challenge Ray Vargas for the WBC belt. But it's going to be difficult for Top Rank to reach an agreement with a PBC for that particular belt. As compared to Dugbe facing Navarrete, should he beat Joey Gonzalez? So this is the political. For many, for Isaac Dugbe, for me, he might want to fight for the WBC, but it's not going to be easy. Though he might become the number 1 contender, but to reach agreement to fight because they'll be coming from 2 different promotional outfits. Ray Vargas is with PBC, while Isaac Dugbe is with Top Rank, and you know the political tension between the boxing political tension between Ahimons, PBC, and Top Rank. So for me, it also depends on what Isaac Dugbe wants. Is Isaac Dugbe going to take the risk to fight under the card of PBC, or is going to tone the top rank line to fight Emmanuel Navarrete should he beat Joey Gonzalez? So it's a decision for Isaac Dugbe to make, and it's going to be a very tough decision for him.
Well, indeed, it's a decision for Isaac Dogwe to make. But let me ask you, do you think it's prudent that Dogwe rather face Maxayo as against Navarrete?
No, as it stands now, Dogwe can face Maxayo because Maxayo lost his bet to Ray Vargas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, only yesterday, right? Only yesterday. Okay.
Dogwe and Maxayo, they are friends. So Dodo was rooting for Masanyo to win, but he was beaten by Rivagas. But you know,
Yes, in a close fight, in a very close fight.
Rivagas was winning in most of the rounds, but the fight became close when it was dropped in round 9 by Masanyo. So I think we don't know whether it's going to there's a rematch clause in that contract or not. But for me, whether Isaac Dogbe fight Emmanuel Navarrete or Isaac Dogbe fight Rivagas, for me, it Dogbe knows Navarrete. Navarrete knows Dogbe. Dogbe has never fought Rivagas before. Rivagas is from Mexico. You know how Mexicans fight, and Rivagas is much taller than Isaac Dogbe. So whether Isaac Dogbe fight Rivagas or Emmanuel Navarrete, Isaac Dogbe is going to face challenge in terms of the height difference, in terms of the reach difference, because Rivagas is as tall as Emmanuel Navarrete. So whether Emmanuel Navarrete or Rivagas is going to be the same fight, but which fight is going to be easier for Isaac Dogbe to fight for the world title? Definitely, it's going to be the Emmanuel Navarrete fight because they are from the same promotional level.
Mm. So you think Dogbe Rivagas is still not easy? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, because Rivagas, when he was at the Super Bantamweight, he was demolishing everybody. He moved up to, so he's now a two-time divisional champion. He moved up to featherweight to be the champion. So whether him and Navarrete or Rivagas, it's not going to be an easy fight. It's not going to be an easy fight. Then I'm thinking, maybe it's going to be maybe as we expect as a baby to challenge for a world title this year, it might not come out because now boxing is seen as unifying the belt or fighting for undisputed championship or unification championship to package um, contender championship. So who knows? Maybe if Navarrete should win his next fight, maybe he might go for unification fight against Rivaga or Mexican affair. So our fingers are still crossed, and let's see what will happen at the end of the year.
Well, interesting. But Carl Froch actually wants Chisora to fight Dillian White next, not Deontay Wilder. What what's your
You
view on
know,
that?
you know what?
Hmm.
This morning I was looking at something. You know the UK aspect.
Mm-hmm.
This was Dylan White, Derek Chisora,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Joshua. They are bringing a lot of vibe in the heavyweight division.
Mm.
Derek Chisora and Dylan White will fight in the UK, a non-title fight, but the arena will be packed because of rivalry. And so much money from that aspect. So I think that is the reason why.
Okay, so that's the reason, according to Daniel David Corte. But you see, there's a lot happening in the boxing world. Interesting enough, I can also tell you that it's not only Isaac Doge who is itching to fight Navarrete. As a matter of fact, Navarrete is equally also itching to fight Isaac Doge because he thinks that Doge perhaps has given him his best fight so far. So that's a credit to Isaac Doge. And if there happens to be a trilogy, nobody knows what's going to happen. Yes, most Ghanaians are a bit skeptical with Doge facing Navarrete for the third time. Some of them have plethora of excuses, as it were. Some too have genuine reasons why they think Doge should not face Navarrete. Some too also have come out with a myriad of good reasons why Doge should face Navarrete. And so it's the dichotomy is not really settled on one thing or the other. It's still a case for you guys out there to judge. So there is a lot to talk about. There's a lot in that contention. There's a lot happening as well. And in time, we are going to interview Isaac Dogbe. Of course, he's agreed to talk to us. So we're going to bring him on this platform. You know, with this platform, we bring only the big and best personalities here. Yes, trust me. Name the person and we'll bring the person here. It's as simple as that. We only interview people that matter. So But like I said, you can join me on this platform on +1 815 302 5489. It's +1 815 302 5489. I guess now I'm talking slowly, like you guys have been asking of me, right? Okay, so that's how it goes anyway. So our next up is some very interesting news because it just so happens that Deontay Wilder has decided to come back to boxing after he decided to give himself a voluntary retirement. Interesting enough, Tyson Fury has also come out to say that he decided to retire from the act of pugilism because of the kind of beatings as it that he suffered under Deontay Wilder, the concussions that he suffered and everything. I mean, it takes a champion, it takes a magnanimous person, it takes a smart person, perhaps even takes a real champion to come out to say things like that. But like I said, I'm not the only one doing the discussions today. My co-host is still here with me, Daniel David Corte. So, David, what do you say about Tyson Fury talking about Deontay Wilder giving him the best fight of his life, and that he decided to even go into retirement because of the kind of concussions that he suffered right after the fight and the kind of pains he had to go through and all that? Do you think that it's just a PR gimmick, or you think he's genuinely making a case?
No, it was right. It was right because fighting Gentle Water for me brought the best out of Tyson Fury because he had to dig deep because Gentle Water before his back-to-back defeat to Tyson Fury was seen as the best heavyweight boxer in his generation. But Tyson Fury beating him back to back proved that he has he has yeah he has arrived, and the kind of punches that he was able to take from Deontay Wilder. Until I start to be corrected, until Tyson Fury fought against Deontay Wilder, he hasn't been dropped before. But against Deontay Wilder in his in that three fight, he was dropped three times. That show you the kind of punches that he had to endure, the kind of punishment that he endured when he fought Deontay Wilder. So for me, I think he was right in saying that for now, I stand to be corrected. I don't see any boxer apart from maybe don't you whether coming back to beat Tyson Fury. I don't see any other heavyweight boxer that can that can shock Tyson Fury. But he has got everything under his disposal. He has the height, he has the punching power, he has the boxing technique. So for me, it's not a PR gimmick. He was saying the right thing. Sometimes you can fight a particular boxer, and if you don't take it, you'll be pushed to for retirement. If you could remember, um, Oscar de la Hoya in an interview even claimed that after his fight against Icod, he was paralyzed for 2 weeks. So there are certain boxers that will hit you with certain blows or certain jabs. Whenever you go, you might be paralyzed, you might be sick, you might decide to give up on boxing. That is how the sport is. Until you face a great puncher. When you get hit with a powerful punch, you might decide to retire because maybe your body don't want to take it anymore.
Well, indeed, because your bosses. Well, I'm told that we our Facebook link is not yet like. So I'm gonna welcome our Facebook guests very very soon. It seems that our Facebook link is not really live, as it were. That's the feedback I've been getting from my tech console, and we're gonna fix it very soon. But let's talk about Manuel Planche, David. Manuel Planche. It came out that he's still talking about the fact that he's coming to the USA hasn't been that fruitful. He felt certain things was not put in place right. Who should be blamed for this, then, David Cote?
Actually, I think the people I would say whether it's promoters or his manager that brought them to the US, they should be blamed. The boxer is training, the boxer is doing everything possible to make a mark for himself. But that is why 2 weeks ago we brought out this um, content. How can our boxers break into the US market? If you don't have a good manager, if you don't have the good promotion, if you don't have if you don't have the right people behind you that can lead you or that can lead you to the top promoters or to be fighting on the big bill. Sometimes you can be in the US, many will think that you are in the US, but your progression, instead of you progressing, you'll be progressing. That is what is happening to Mario Plan. He has been in the US for more than 5 months and is here to fight. And for me, what the people that brought him to the US, what are they doing? That is the big question that we have to ask ourselves. Which people brought him? Those people, what are they doing? Are they ready to invest in him? Or what are they doing? So for me, sometimes our boxers do not rush to travel to extend that you have to get the right people behind you before you can make a mark. Without getting the right people, it will be very difficult for you to break that chain. Because like I said, boxing is more political. And if you don't have the men to do the job for you, you will struggle and at the end of the day your talent will go away.
But David, would you also agree that apart from the fact that Magnon himself, but who is actually promoting Magnon? Who is actually managing Magnon now?
It's being managed by LTMG, owned by an African. He's a Nigerian, but he's based in Florida. He was the same person that brought Habib Ahmed to the United States. I think, if my memory serves me right, it is that person that brought Mario Point to the United States. But hey, we don't know the contractual agreement between that promotional or that managerial outfit and Mario Point. So for me, like I kept on saying, boxers should not be rushed in signing contracts. They have to review any contract that they sign. They have to review the people that they put their trust in. Because you cannot be in the United States for more than 6, 7, 8 months and you have not fight. So what is the essence of coming to the United States? You're a boxer. At least you should be mounting the ring to fight.
Okay, so would you agree that perhaps this is solely due to managerial issues, or you think that's
Yes,
interesting?
sorry to manage because you and I can attest or speak well about Manu's quality. He's one of the most talented boxers that we have ever had. But because of certain circumstances, his progression is has not been fast as compared to other boxers. But Manu Pranch went all the way to Philippines. He dominated the champion. He won the fight, but they decided to make a draw. He had an opportunity to come to the United States.
You
Now,
mean
the
against
honest,
Marinus?
yeah,
His fight against
the
okay, yeah, that's
the,
Marinus, yeah.
the so he came to the United States. Manuel did not just pick his bag, pick a flight, and come to the United States. It was somebody who brought him to the United States. So that person should see to it that he is fighting. So if Manuel Blanche is not seen fighting, we cannot blame him. We have to blame his manager or the people that brought him to the United States.
Okay, so my other stuff will probably be on it's centered on foreign stuff. But what is happening with Richard Comey, David? Before we go to our main topic and issue, what is happening with Richard Comey? When is he fighting? How prepared is he? And so far, are we set on the date that there's not going to be any changes?
No, the date is set. You know, for now the date is set. That is August 9 in Oklahoma, which Comey is facing Jose Pedraza, which for me is a good fight for Rich Comey. He's coming back. The two boxers are coming back from losses. Comey lost to Lomachenko. Pedraza lost to Zepeda. So for me, it's going to be a good fight for the two boxers. They are all former world champions. Um, Pedraza is a two-weight divisional champion. One title at 130 and 135, while Rich Comey won title at 135. But they'll be fighting at 140. It's going to be a debut fight for Rich Comey at 140. Whilst Pedraza for me has had like over two fights at 140. The two boxers are good boxers, but the big question is, can Pedraza take the power of Rich Coming? That is the big question that everybody is asking. But you cannot take anything away from Jose Pedraza. He's an intelligent boxer. He has fought champions. He has fought Lomachenko. He has fought somebody like Ray Bertrand. He has fought Javonta Davis. So he has been in the ring with great boxers, same as Richie Comey. So it's going to be a very crunchy fight. It's too it's difficult to call. It's too close to call. The date is set. It's going to be staged in Oklahoma. But as a Ghanaian, we know what Rich Comey is capable of doing. But it's not going to come an easy. It's not going to be an easy fight for Rich Comey.
Okay, so let's equal also talk about this one real quick. As Derek Chisora also won by split decision over Pulev. Did you watch that fight and were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. It was a revenge. It was a revenge for Derek Chisora after losing to Pulev, I think 6 years ago. So he put everything because one thing about Derek Chisora is a showstopper. Though he has 12 defeats on his record, he's a showstopper. On any day, he will give up. He will give up all his best. And even yesterday's fight, he was throwing bombs. He was throwing bombs. The two fighters ate each other. That's why the score was so close to like split decision. Chisora winning on two cards, while Pulev winning on one card. For me, it was a great fight, and these are the kind of fight that like boxing lovers want to see. Irrespective of the boxers fighting on the day, they have to give their all. They all showed lion and they all show great and they all show boxing skills. But Derek Chisora was wanted to win more to make a claim. He wanted to win more because it was the first time that he brought his family to the arena and he wanted to put smiles on the face of his family. That is what he did. He showed that it's one of them heavyweight boxers that you can count your hopes on. That's why losing 12 times. But yesterday was his day. He, 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 he gave out his best. And for me, Pulev also brought out the best from Chisora. And for me, it was a great fight yesterday.
Well, it was a great fight yesterday, according to my own Daniel David Corti. Indeed, it was a great fight. But interesting enough, Chisora is actually calling out Deontay Wilder.
Yes, he think that he thinks that he has what it takes to beat Deontay Wilder. He thinks he has what it takes to beat Deontay Wilder. Right? Chisora has been in top heavyweight class. He has fought Daniel White, I think, 3 times. He has fought Joseph Parker. So this is the time for him to fight Deontay Wilder, and they will make good money out of it. I think this kind of fight should happen in the United Kingdom because Chisora has got the numbers in the UK. Deontay Wilder is world acclaimed heavyweight boxer who has also got the numbers even if he fights in the United States or fights in the United Kingdom. So I think it will be a good matchup in terms of money wise, in terms of competitiveness. It's going to be a good matchup, and I think promoters of these two boxers will start talking. They will make good money out of it.
Okay, but Eddie Hearn actually has a different opinion. He thinks that Chisora should rather be facing Dillian White, and he's going to make that fight happen.
So how many times would Chisora and Delawan be fighting? And the one is looking at the money aspect because he knows that anytime these two boxers step on in the ring, the crowd will go wild. They can sell like 100,000 tickets. So that is what the Eddie is looking at. He's looking at. So for me, in terms of the competitive wise, like we have seen Daniel White and Chisora. We want to see either maybe Daniel White and Deontay Wilder, or we want to see Chisora against Deontay Wilder. Because either these two boxers can give Deontay Wilder a good run for their money, and in the end, as the promoter can make good money out of it. For me, I'm tired of watching Deontay Wilder and Chisora. I'm sorry, I'm tired of watching Gentle Water and Dylan White. They have to make a fight between Dylan White and Gentle Water or Chisora against Gentle Water. That is what the fans want to see now. Or
Well,
probably maybe Chisora against Tyson Fury
okay. So David,
or
we're gonna
Chisora
switch
against
our
Tyson.
attention from the tidbits and talk about today we are actually going to change our main topic because of the challenges we had with Gianluca. Of course, I'm still being told that we are not live on Facebook for certain technical challenges. Like I told you, we've had pretty much interesting technical stuff, but this is internet and this is a live show, so you should expect that. We promise to nip it in the bud, no two ways about it, because we are a show that has carved a niche for itself. And interesting enough, I can tell you that international pundits, referees, do want to come on this show. Some of them feels like we should not just concentrate on Ghana, but come on, the preoccupation is boxing Ghana, and definitely it has to be Ghana. Once in a while, yes, we'll venture into the foreign territories. We are grateful that they are also expressing interest in the show. We like that. We promise to do well going forward. Like for us, it's an endorsement of the show, and we're very much grateful. Um, I, so today, this is what we're going to do because of what happened with Gianluca, De Caro, and Gianluca. Do forgive us. I know you're watching us. We should have told you some stuff. We should have. But anyway, it happens. These are technical stuff. It happens with Richard Donuleku, and to date, we're still trying to resolve that. It's technology. Anything can happen. But David, my main preoccupation has to do with a boxer who is boxed in Ghana for practically a long time. At a point, he was even considered a Ghanaian. Now, it just so happens that now the boxer is going to fight a final eliminator. Very important bout. And now that boxer goes for a Nigerian license. I don't get it. Tell me more about it. I don't understand it. I'm going to be asking more questions and hopefully get a rep to come and answer some of these questions. But we're going to raise it up today. Today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to raise certain ails of Ghana boxing. We're even going to talk about the boxing league. That is what we're going to do. Those are the vex matters for today. The vex matters, for instance, why should a professional boxer fight a boxer who just turned pro? A professional boxer with so much record. Are you trying to just kill whoever the boxer that turned pro? Are you trying to kill his career or what? It doesn't make sense. He's supposed to get some easy fight, as it were, so that he can warm himself. You don't pit somebody who is very much experienced in the boxing pugilism, somebody who's even won a title as far as Africa is concerned, and pit him against a novice. That is unacceptable. So these are the things we're going to be bringing out. And definitely we're going to bring the GBA as well. We're going to bring all stakeholders to come and answer this. Like I told you, initially we were trying to cement the floor. Now boxing court really commences and we hold no prisoners. We just want the good of the Ghana boxing, and that's what we're looking at. That's definitely friendship, anything aside. We're looking at the goodness, the betterment of Ghana boxing. David, let me understand. Why is Wahab fighting using Nigerian license? I don't understand, because Wahab has practically been a Ghanaian, and I don't understand. Educate me on that.
I mean, sometimes it's not like you have um, an issue with the current administration of the GBA, but you cannot run an association based on emotion. The truth is, Wahab Oluwaseun has been fighting in Ghana for the past 5, 6 years. Though he is a Nigerian, he has been in Ghana for more than 5 years. He has most of his major fights has happened in Ghana. His African title fight. He has fought on countless occasions on Azuma Nelson's promotion, and is now being promoted by Lou DiBella and managed by Rick Wise Management, owned by Amubede, manager of Richie Comics. Now, guess what? I believe the GBA don't want to, and I don't know whether the GBA has suspended his license because of the rift between its manager and the Ghana Boxing Authority. So if there is a rift or a little misunderstanding between the current administration of the GBA and Amumbedi Akun, who is a boxing manager, who manages Wahab Oluwaseun, because of that, the boxer license has been revoked. If there is an issue between the manager and the association, why would the boxer suffer? So for me, now we are losing a person. Though Wahab Oluwaseun is a Nigerian, but his second home is in Ghana. And most of the times we have fought under the umbrella of Ghana, under the colors of Ghana and Nigeria. So now we are giving him the opportunity not to fight under the colors of Ghana, but to fight under the colors of Nigeria. Which for me, currently, we don't have a well cultured and a well talented super featherweight boxer currently in Ghana. No, we don't have it. And it is why Oluwaseun who is rising in the rankings. After his win against this, if he should win the Commonwealth belt, he's going to be ranked high in the WBC. And he's being promoted by Lou Bella. And guess what? Maybe in the next year or next 2 years, he might be fighting for a world title shot. So why do we let this talent go based on based on the rift based on the rift between the association and its manager? And the association is punishing the boxer because of the rift between because of the risk they have with Amubeziako, which for me is uncalled for. And I think somebody needs to explain something for people to understand. Because many boxers who are following boxing now know that Wahab Oluwaseun is now a Ghanaian. But now it is now clear that because of the problem between Amubeziako and the GBA, maybe his license has been revoked and he has decided to pick a license in Nigeria to fight in his own country. And when the glory comes, the glory is going to his country. Whenever he wants to train, he will come to Ghana and use our facilities and train. And whenever he gets the glory, he takes the glory to his country. And you cannot blame him. We have to blame the association.
Something is not really clear to me, and I think that I'm going to get an official from GBA to come and answer to that,
Yeah.
because it will not make sense for you to groom a boxer to a certain stage, and because of seemingly rift that you have with the boxer's manager, you sort of halt the boxer's career. And
Or
in
maybe,
that case,
or
it,
maybe, uh, maybe the boxer's license has not been revoked, but maybe because of the rift, the GBA is not going to sanction his fight. And
yes,
if the GBA is not going to
that's
sanction his
not
fight,
acceptable, because like if you
it's not
decide
acceptable.
that for the sins of the father it affects the son, that's
And
totally
what has the son do?
that's
That's why initially in my preamble comment I said that you cannot run an association based on emotion. Be professional. Be professional in dealing with people. Irrespective of the issue that you might have with people. Just be professional. Just take emotions out of it. If you allow your emotion to take the better part of it, these are the kind of decision that you will take.
well, indeed, and that's really sound. This is something that we do have to go into, because for me it's surprising that a boxer with the caliber of Wahab Oluwaseun would just at the ninth hour. So my question is, if you don't allow this boxer and the boxer registers with Nigeria, just like he's done, pay whatever comes out of his purse money is going to Nigeria. So make it make sense. What is the sense in that?
It
How do
doesn't
you
make
get
sense because the
your
box is here.
5% developmental fee or rebate that you've been taking? So it's a
Yeah,
retrospective law. It's a retroactive law. It has no
yeah.
basis in modernity. And these are the things we're going to be looking at. And we are also going to be looking at why certain people were banned and the basis with which those people were banned. I've gone through the document overly, and I think it's better that we subject it to proper scrutiny so that we understand certain things. Because in law, just the technicalities can just throw your case out, and some of them you can see that they flawed even from the technicalities. So it doesn't
Yeah,
make sense. So these are
yeah.
the things we're looking at. We are going to be looking at. But let's talk about the initial comments that you're making, and I told you we are going to go into it proper. Uh, with a professional boxing league. So far, what have you monitored? What are the ills? What are the good? What are the flaws that you think we can improve upon? And these are some of the things that are very important, because I'm going to bring GB officials to come and answer all these things. And this time, this is boxing court. The jury is you people out there to actually judge. Now we are holding no prisoners. Now we are going to talk about the issues the way they are supposed to be talked about, and the way they are supposed to be handled, so that all of us will be happy and glad and say, yes, we've made Ghana boxing better, and it's now competing with the best. David, my question to you: the professional boxing league.
Look, there are a lot of things that make boxing exciting. Boxing is totally different from soccer or football. One, for this professional league, kudos to the GBA. They are able to get the numbers in the arena, whether being free or not. There are certain sports events, even if it is free, you not see people at the arena. But week in, week out, you can see the arena is filled to capacity. You know, sometimes you'll be watching soccer, you'll be watching football. Certain things that make the excitement is how the commentators go about with the commentary. For me, I have never been impressed. Anytime that I've watched the league, I've never been impressed with the commentary. And this is not soccer, this is not football. I kept on saying, let people who knows the game do the commentary. Let people who knows the game analyze the game. What is Prince Donu Leku doing? He's there. What is our own Kwekumo doing? These are people who knows the in and out of the game, and these are people who are media guys. Just drop them in. You cannot just push anybody at all to be running commentary on boxing. Boxing is more technical, and there are certain words you cannot use in boxing when you are running boxing commentary. Which for me, I think whether Man TV or the GBA, they have to sit down, because sometimes commentary makes the event or the 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 show look delicious or look good. If you don't have the right people doing that thing, it is very difficult for people to get the interest. For me, honestly, got to a point. I muted I muted the commentary, and I was just watching without sound, because I wasn't impressed with what I'm hearing. So I just muted the commentary, I just muted the voice, and I was just watching without sound. Secondly, uh, the GBA for me is not just that maybe any boxers at all should fight. They should get the cream de la cream to be fighting on the league. The likes of Jojashi is there, the likes of Bullet and Sign is there. They should get the cream de la cream to be fighting on the bill. And finally, they have to make sure that, like I said, they have to make sure that every fight that happens on the professional boxing league is being updated on boxing. Since the professional league started, each boxer at least have had like 3 or 4 fights, but it's not updated on boxing. And I think that is what the GBA should do, and the GBA should sit down with the promoters. For me, I think most of the promoters like Alex Ntiamwa and some promoters have bad feelings as to how, with respect to how the league is being run. The GBA should sit down with the promoters so that everybody will come on board and make the league successful.
First of all, let me say that yes, your point is really really very important. We need to know why those records are not being updated with BoxRec. We also want to know what happened with the GBA in terms of the melee that ensued between GBA and BoxRec, in terms of the supposedly issues that BoxRec had with the Ghana Boxing Authority, or the Ghanaian boxing promoters, as it were. Bottom line, the back stops with the head. Whether you like it or not. As a leader, you take all the blame. So what happened with BoxRec and them? How come those records are not being updated? We are not presuming or assuming anything, but assuming without admitting, If that issue is still ongoing, we want to know what has happened so far. What is the problem now? What has ensued? What is causing the standoff? Secondly, we also want to know, has the issues been resolved? Even with BB of C, we want to know, has it been resolved? Yes, we are not saying the British boxing are mightier than that. But you see, you need to launch a good defense when certain criticisms come into your doorsteps. But if you play it like the normal thing as usual, PR rec, you won't get anywhere. The British itself, they have been deviled with a lot of scandals in terms of their boxing scene. They have a lot. Trust me. Recently, a whole MP came out and he was calling for certain people to be banned and certain things to be investigated. So it's not just them. There are ills everywhere. It is how you respond to those ills. So if BBFC says they are launching an investigation, we want to know now what has come out of the investigation. I know, for instance, my colleague, David Kote, inquired from them and they said because it was under investigation, they needed certain time. David, from your own words, I want to know, when you wrote to BBFC, what did they say?
They said they don't have any comments now because the issue is and they are still investigating the issue. And when they've done, they will issue an official statement on it. And it's been over 4 months now. It's been over 4 months now. I don't know whether somebody is trying to hide something or somebody is trying to defend somebody or somebody don't want to put out like it's a whole lot. Maybe the British Boxing Federation might be at fault, or maybe the Ghana Boxing Authority might be at fault. So I'm still waiting for the official response from the British Boxing Federation.
Okay, so we're still trying to find out from the BBFC, but this is what we'll do, boxing court. We are personally, or we are as an institution, going to write to them to ascertain what has happened. But before that, we need to do our homework right. We need to find out from the GBA authorities what has happened so far. Then we can do that follow-up. It's only prudent that we find out from them. So we're going to find out from the GBA authorities. Then, of course, we'll proceed. Then we also want to know why the boxers' records are not being updated on BoxRec. Is there any reason to that? If there is a reason, what can we do to not just ameliorate, but what can we do to make sure that reinstates that? Yes, we know BoxRec is not the ultimate. They are just like a private company, but they've virtually monopolized the market. And for now, whether you like it or not, every record goes there until such a time that it changes. That's like the previous company that Equal also did their own thing, and they eventually became so not so, as it were, monopoly. They didn't so much monopolize the market, and their monopoly sort of derailed because they reached their equilibrium and they needed to come down. So until you get to that stage, we still need to make sure we question some of these things. So it's important that we question, for instance, why BoxRec, why the records are not on BoxRec. So don't get it twisted if we are trying to ascertain why certain things are done. We just want the betterment of Ghana boxing. And that is it. So per all these things that has been raised, next week we're definitely going to bring in these very important people to come and answer to some of these things. We are also personally going to write to them as well, so that we ascertain how far they've gotten in terms of the ban by BBFC, the initial ban, I must say. Yes. So there's a lot that we want to talk about. But David, this is what I want to know. The Professional Boxing League. There is one thing that I still do not understand. Why professional boxers will be fighting novices. Is it that we just want to kill those novices, their career? Or it's a problem that needs to be tackled differently using the Martin experience? Because we all know Martin had his challenges, but this is so glaring. What is the problem, Daniel?
I think the only thing I would say is the GBA want to run their show and they don't care the people that they put on the booth. They just want to run their show and make money. That's the only thing that I would say because if you are bringing a novice to fight a professional, not a professional, like an experienced boxer who has been in the game for years. Are you trying to create the career of that novice, or even the novice who's stepping in the ring doesn't want to take his career serious? For me, as a GGA, if you really want to nurture and get more champions in the market, you have to safeguard some of your boxes. And for me, I think the GBA just want to run their show and make money. That is what they are interested in.
Interesting. So if you just plug onto the domain, let me see. I'm trying to bring myself back here. So if you just plug onto the domain, this is boxing court. Mm, it's getting interesting because, according to my colleague, he thinks the GBA just want to make their money. We'll find out from the GBA if that is truly what they want to do. But there are certain things that we need to talk about, especially with the boxing league. For instance, I had problems or issues with the fact that the GBA had um, a story which was talking about the owner of IMAX or the chief executive going for going to Mecca for as it were the Ramadan. I didn't understand the purpose of it. There are certain things you do and you create certain perceptions. Okay, they say that consistent positioning creates an image. The last thing you want is to be consistently creating an image. If the GBA portal with which some of us journalists, we go there to pick stories, and we pick those stories, for instance, GBA sending goodwill. GBA normally don't come out like that. They come out with certain special stories. If you go to that site, it's not a very vibrant story like site like Boxing Ghana where every now and then a story is being updated. The GBA only comes out with information, and some of our journalists who owns portals, we go there and pick those stories, and of course we blast it out there. So I was a bit surprised, especially with the kind of perception that has been rolling that the GBA virtually are handling IMAX media and making it monopolize the market. I was very surprised to have seen that story on that portal. This is something that I really want the GBA to come and explain. Yes, initially I got the explanation that because they are big stakeholders and they feel like, okay, he's also always been part of boxing and he's promoting boxing and he's investing so much into boxing, they decided to do that. Well, that may be sound, but that may not
I
be
mean,
justifiable at all. That may be sound, but not justifiable,
if somebody,
especially with
see,
the kind of perception that you have. Yeah, David, you want to come in?
if somebody is going to Mecca to do his or her own religious thing, what has it got to do with the Ghana Boxing Authority? It's the Ghana Boxing Authority, that particular their website. What has it got to do with that? Because these are some of the things that we kept on saying, and Derek will say you are blowing things out of proportion, but this is one of the conflict of interest that I'm talking about. This is the Ghana, especially. Okay, you go to um, let's say uh, the British Board of Control website, and because a company, the head of a company is sponsoring their events, if the head of company is going to Ghana for holidays, you will publish it. If
I mean,
the
make it
head
make
of
sense. It
IMAX
doesn't make sense. It doesn't
if
make sense.
the head of IMAX is going to Mecca to talk about boxing and you publish it, it makes sense. But
Yes.
not the person going to Mecca to pray. Is it a religious website or is it a boxing website?
Especially with the fact that you've had so many people having this notion, perception that your organization is virtually the ones running IMAX Media, and that and they are enjoying so much monopoly. Even Promoters Association, you had I had the president here, which is Alex Intiamo. He was talking about the fact that they are virtually the ones running it, and they feel like they're being, shortchanged by that because everything is virtually being channeled towards IMAX, and have actually become like the cash cow, and that it's almost making it like they are monopolizing the market, which is true because if you do
Yes,
certain gestures, this gesturing, and
because
you had a whole GBA communications director sharing the story. How funny.
honestly, you brought my attention to it. So I said, okay, let me go and check it out. This it doesn't make sense one bit. It doesn't make sense one bit. But it doesn't make this. It doesn't make sense one bit. And if I knew, okay, this it doesn't make sense one bit. The reason being is if Fadi Fatah is going to Mecca, right, to have talks about their box because you see Edian going to Mecca, going to Saudi Arabia to stage boxing bout there. That tells you that they have interest in boxing in Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia. So if Fadi Fatah is going there for boxing talk or something, and you put it there, it's welcome. But not group director of IMAX Media in Saudi Arabia for 2002 Hajj program. It doesn't make sense.
You know,
And even the person who wrote this story and published it in the Ghana Boxing Authority website should be ashamed of himself. Oh
you
yeah,
know, I saw this story
the
and
person
I
should be
said
ashamed
to
of himself.
myself that,
Oh yeah,
especially kind of perception that has been banded around, like the kind of
oh yeah.
notion people have towards you. The last thing you want to do is this, like in marketing,
See,
they say consistent
I
position.
told you last time. Don't expect um there are boxers, Ghanaian boxers who are going to fight. Christopher Toponjani is fighting in the US, I think, late this year or next month. He's fighting in, I think, Florida. No publication. But somebody is going to Saudi Arabia to pray. It's at the, I mean, you should call spade a spade. This is, the person who wrote this story should be ashamed of himself. And for me, even I'm sure, I don't know how to describe the intention. Nobody should call this marketing strategy. Excuse me, this is nonsense. This is not marketing strategy.
you know, I'll be very honest with you. When I saw the story, I was a bit surprised. I decided to make certain overtures. I decided to make certain contact just to understand what is happening. Like I said, next week we're bringing all of them
Can
because you see, we are raising a
look
lot
at
of topics, right?
if if GB they are serious about projecting Ghana boxing. Isaac Gbegbe is in this training. Isaac Gbegbe has been sharing pictures on his page. If GBA is serious, they can pick that pictures and write better story on it
Yeah,
instead of writing this. Instead of wasting time to write this, which doesn't make sense. So they want
that's
to tell us that IMAS don't have website to publish this there. Even will you say IMAS or Mass TV? The Mass TV reported that their boss is going to pay them.
we
Now
this
the now the Ghana Boxing Authority website has sent the has sent to a public relation website for IMAS.
you know
Or
um
let's say example, if MTN is sponsoring Ghana League, MTN is sponsoring FA Cup in Ghana, but the GBA has written a publication on the Ghana Football Association website that okay, MTN is doing fundraising somewhere. MTN is doing this.
it doesn't happen anywhere, and that's so I don't want to use a certain way because I'm the host. But like I said, next week all these questions that have been raised, we're going to get you answers. One, why Wahab Oluwasheni is actually fighting using Nigerian licenses. It's not acceptable under a Nigerian license when he's always been a Ghanaian virtually, or he's practically have his trade is still in Ghana. Not even, I mean, not to say his manager is a Ghanaian. Not to talk about his trainers are Ghanaian. He's been fighting in Ghana. What again can we ask? And when the guy is just about to have a final eliminator, get into the money zone, because seemingly you have a conflict with the manager, you decided you are you are virtually not, or even if you didn't do anything, you virtually shortchanged him. You've compelled him to go to Nigeria. That is a retrospective law, and that is a retrogressive law as well. and we need to talk about it. We don't need retrogressive laws that won't help us. We don't need them. So we're going to get people from the GBA to come and answer. We also want to find out from them why certain boxers are pit against other boxers when those boxers we know are novices. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. We also want to find out once again why the GBA, upon all the hibijibis, upon all the preconception and perception that has been bandled around against the organization, in terms of not just how they do their thing, but in terms of how they backed IMAX throughout this whole journey, and how some promoters feels they've been shortchanged. Yet the GBA goes ahead and put up a story of this caliber on their own website. What kind of perception, impression are you creating? Like they say, consistent positioning create an image. In that magazine's report, or the magazine saying, where they say he who calls for equity must come with clean hands. The eighth one also talks about the fact that if you demand equity, you must do equity. So if the GBA demands equity from all its stakeholders, including managers, going around banning them, going around shortchanging some and all that, then they must do equity. How do you do equity? With all the perception that has been bandled around you, if you still go ahead and write a story like that on your biggest platform that journalists goes there to source stories, make it make sense.
No, I mean they want to tell us that they don't have content. Yeah, they don't have content, and even the ranking.
They should go to boxingghana.com
For
and get
me,
content.
for
They should go
me,
to
must
Boxing
they
and get content. They should go to Boxing Africa and get content. That is fair.
no like even their ranking. Their monthly ranking that they have been doing or quarterly ranking that they have been doing. We are in July. They haven't updated it, and you see them publish a story on somebody who is going to arch for vacation. Who is going to arch for vacation?
I also want to understand today, and of course, these are questions I'll be putting to them next week, and we are raising them here. This is boxing court. Now we've started boxing court proper. Like I told you, initially we just wanted to lay the foundation, build Ghana boxing, try and make sure that not only are our people in terms of publicity, in terms of marketing, in terms of branding, not only are we set, or not only are we really like there, not only have we come a long way to this extent, and forgive Daniel difficulty, he's in a coded location. Once in a while, he gets lot missing. But also about how some of these things will be nipped in the bud. And trust me, the perception out there is not good. And that's what we are trying to avoid and prevent. So I want to know, for instance, the laws that compels people to be banned. I want to know which has been enforced.
Actually,
Those laws, how does it get reversed? Per what and what must the person do to for it to be reversed? And on what basis were those things meted out on them? Even if we decide to go by the law, because I've virtually gone through some of the laws, and in as much as some are explicit, others are not. So we want to understand if assuming without admitting a boxer gets banned, what is the turnaround? Because for you to say indefinite suspension doesn't make sense. So we're just trying as much as possible to bring out all the ills with our boxing. Don't get it twisted. We want to make sure that everybody is on board. We want to make sure that we are all in sync and we are all in the same boat so that we can get to our destination. That is what we are looking for. We are not here to witch hunt anybody. No, that is not our main preoccupation. We just want to make sure we promote Ghana boxing and let stakeholders also hold themselves accountable. That is basically what we are looking for. So next week, the vex matters are what we've already espoused, and I'm going to bring Daniel Debicote in very soon so that he will give me his final words and we wrap up and get out of the studio because we have a lot to talk about next week. Like we are trying to keep this show at most 1 hour 50 minutes or probably 1 hour 30 minutes. That's what we're trying to do. And so far, I think we've done 1 hour 9 minutes. So we got some few minutes to wrap up. David,
I mean, what I would say is our viewers should keep on plugging on this domain every Sunday, 7 o'clock Ghana time, 7 p.m. Ghana time. And we will serve them with the best sports news that they want, the best boxing content that they want. So they should keep on plugging to this domain. And next week is going to be fire. Next week is going to be fire. The time is not has not changed. It's the same time, same host, and we are going to serve them with the best boxing content that they want.
Yes, indeed. We are definitely going to serve them with the best posting content. And per all the questions that have been raised, I sit here and have tons of messages. You know, I didn't read them today because we are asking most of those questions, and because our main preoccupation, we didn't really go into it. So that's how come I've decided to keep them on the wrap. So do forgive me if I didn't read your messages. Do forgive me. We know that we are not live even on Facebook. The show is going to be played back on Facebook. So do make a date and watch that. David, your final comment before we wrap up and get out of the studio.
I would say, as boxing lover, I always wish the best for Ghana boxing. If we criticize you or we say something about it, it's not about we are just saying for saying, but we want the best thing to be done. That is why we are here. That is why we are here just to check and correct the wrong. We are not perfect. If we are wrong, you can correct us. Or you say something which is not factual. You can come out with a fact and prove us wrong. But we are here to correct the wrongs. We are here to check our leaders, and we are here for our leaders to do the right thing because we want boxing to be seen, or Ghana boxing to be seen as the way people see American boxing, the way people see Mexican boxing, the way people see UK boxing. That is how we want Ghana boxing to be seen. Though we cannot compete with them in terms of marketing wise, but we want Ghana to be seen as Mecca of African boxing. So that is the reason why we are here. We want to check our leaders so that they will do the right thing.
Well, indeed, Daniel Devicote puts it rightly, and I mean, I don't need to say much. He's just said everything that I needed to say. So I'm not even going to stress on that because he's virtually practically elaborated everything I wanted to say. Once again, I do need to apologize to Gianluca Di Caro. He is actually the president or the executive vice president for BIBA, British and Irish Boxing Authority. We had our own challenges, and do forgive us. It is something that we plan to resolve and rectify as soon as possible. And for you all boxing stakeholders, foreign, that are trying to get on the show, that feels like we shouldn't just concentrate on Ghana, but we should concentrate both African boxing and world boxing. We are grateful. I mean, it would be great to have us interview the Entawada on this platform, and we're definitely going to do that. The fact is that our main preoccupation is Ghana. So David and I will probably sit down and talk about this with our producer. Maybe we can do 80% Ghana and do 20% world. It's great when I have big names contacting me on this show. It makes us so proud. It shows the endorsement that you have for this show. It shows that we are numero uno in terms of boxing shows. So we're most grateful. Once again, this is where we do have to wrap up. My name has been Samuel Fuseni. Of course, you saw my co-host. That's Daniel David Kote, the usual suspect in a coded location. Do join us same time next week with all the questions that we've raised. It will be answered for you here on this platform. Take care. Bye-bye and be good. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.